Imagine, my friend, sitting peacefully, and you find the end of the world is near. All this happened in the few years you've lived because of an eccentric doctor named Skinner, classified worldwide as the smartest man after Einstein. This is due to his invention of a treatment that numbs all types of pain, called Hebna, our treatment. People felt like it was made under a staircase, yet everyone bought it as if it were juice. They kept taking these painkillers for a long time and felt no pain whatsoever because of it. A treatment that makes you strong, energetic, and living in bliss. Essentially, absolute painlessness. Indeed, the treatment took over the whole world. But after 3 years, our Einstein disappeared without warning. Of course, people had swallowed the bait and didn't know he was preparing a catastrophe that would shake the entire world. But before anything else, drop a like for Curly Jumden and let's see what happened here. He's imprisoned under heavy guard, locked up. Our hero Excel during his exercise time gets a visit. He's very happy. Finally, someone crossed over to see him. He goes down to meet a woman named Hirsch Saint with a sharp, piercing gaze. Nothing about her suggests any good behind her. Excel tells her, "I'm not comfortable with you, ma'am. Everyone who comes to me like you is either a lawyer or a killer." She says, "Yeah, I'm both, sweetie." She knows he was imprisoned for trying to escape. She came to ask him for a favor, and if he agrees, she'll get him out of prison. Excel is surprised. Who is she, and how can she get him out anyway? In reality, Hirsch knew everything about him, even his shoe size. She came to him with a mission, confident he'd execute it with high professionalism. She shows him a video that spread worldwide. Dr. Skinner finally reappeared, appearing a second time. But oh, if only he hadn't appeared. No one saw him. The doctor was telling people, if you're happy with yourselves now that your sense of pain has disappeared, then you're idiots. Your state is no different from death. You relied on a daily dose of Hebna and drank it like water. You weren't aware that this invention would destroy humanity. Many consumed it recklessly, and now it's time to pay the price for that stupidity. Because I didn't make Hebna just as a painkiller, no. It was designed to stay in the body even after 3 years. Everyone who took the painkiller, may God have mercy on them in advance. The whole world will end in front of them in just 30 days, only 30 days, and the planet will be a pile of corpses. He tells them his goal is to cleanse humanity and start a new era. He gives them false hope, saying, there's an antidote. If no one finds it within 30 days, humanity's fate will hang by a thread. Hirsch asks Excel to help them find him. The how visit ends, so Excel gets up and tells her, if you really know me, you should know I have a bad habit. I escape from any prison I enter, and quickly. Exactly. He snatches the guard's pistol and escapes, jumping around here and there as if he's in his element, showing unnatural strength and agility. Not even the toughest officer could stop him, not even with bullets. The king of flips, the leader, escapes like a bird fleeing its cage. Hirsch watches him, sure he's the one they were looking for. She gets in the car with her colleague Douglas to chase him. After Skinner's video spread worldwide, chaos ensued. People were trampling each other, tears and screams, a state of extraordinary terror. Excel walks down the street happily, finally free from the slavery of prison. He sees an officer and says, "Why are you wearing prisoner's clothes like that?" Excel, as usual, smooth talks his way out. He tells him he was acting in a play and fools him with a few words, then walks away. He enters a store to change clothes and boards a train heading far away. Hirsch is with her boss, who tells her they need to move fast before anyone involved with Skinner escapes. If that happens, they won't find anything linking them to Skinner or leading them to him. Excel arrives at a station. The cameras there recognize him, so he's exposed on all screens. Someone else would be upset, but he feels like the new game has begun. He runs, escaping security personnel as if in a game of tag. He hears the commotion, so he quickly monitors his movements, and identifies the rest of the team, ready to welcome him in their own way. Excel keeps running as if he wants to go to a specific place. Automated drones try to stop him, but it doesn't faze him. He's a monkey walking, jumping left and right. The team does everything they can to corner him, including Christ, who asks Doug for permission to shoot at him. He tells her, go ahead, but try not to blow up any innocents this time. This time, the team corners Excel until they push him to a dead end. Douglas stands fixed from afar, and Excel says, can we at least have a duel? Let me see who wants to kill me. Douglas refuses, so Excel provokes him with words, then write on my tombstone, killed by Douglas, the coward who shot me in the back. Douglas tells him, you've reached a dead end, sweetie. Humans can't fly. But how? Our hero has solutions for everything. He jumps with full confidence, grabs the automated drone, and Christ activates her brain a bit. She goes to Excel, impressed by his strong skills, and also asks to take a selfie with him. Excel agrees, but her intention wasn't good at all. She twists her hand to electrocute him. Oh, you traitor. Indeed, they finally manage to control him and take him with them to the camp. They gather around him. When he wakes up, they inform him they're the Lazarus group, and he'll be a member from today. The team puts an iron bracelet on Excel's hand. Hirsch explains to him that he'll be with them for a while. Wherever he goes, he'll be monitored. That was the case for all team members. Hirsch tells them she and her team are tasked with finding Skinner at any cost before he destroys humanity. And because she's a respectable woman who respects their opinions, she tells them, if you want to continue as criminals, that's up to you, but I'll send you back to prison. Or join us, we find him, and then we release you. Excel isn't the type to be threatened. He grabs his gun and counters the threat. Watch your manners with the bracelet, ma'am. She stands up, electricity crackling. If you try to escape or remove it violently, the electricity in it could turn your hand into mango juice. Come on, and if anything happens to me, you'll all die the same way. The team gathers together away from Hirsch, thinking about what to do when they find Skinner. Each is thinking of themselves and their own benefit instead of killing him, exploit him like he exploited them, and take the antidote. But the oldest among them, Douglas, tells them, gather up, guys, we're going to save the world. We'll be heroes. Rejoice. And he tells Excel he wasn't in favor of him joining the team. He saw him as an animal jumping around and wouldn't be useful to them. He gathers all the information about Skinner to share with them. Skinner, 58, from Istanbul. Orphaned, parents passed away long ago, and no one visits him. Cut off from the family tree, meaning his achievements started from a young age. He earned the title of the world's greatest genius, and even won the Nobel Prize 3 times. Hirsch shows them a press conference where Skinner was speaking. He informed people that after 3 years, the Arctic ice would melt completely, and that would be the beginning of the disasters leading to the end of the world. Leland tells them he feels this man is good, he doesn't flinch or dodge, and his charitable works are many. There must be a secret behind his sudden threat to the world. The team splits up and moves immediately. They learn he bought an old shelter 8 years ago, meaning the old man wasn't easy, guys. Christ asks Excel why he was imprisoned. He tells her he was sentenced to 888 years. Even a robot would collapse if it heard that number. The shock was huge for her. The car stops to throw him out, thinking he's a murderer. If he'd killed half the city, he wouldn't have gotten that sentence. Excel explains that the sentence doubled every time he tried to escape. Originally, it was 3 years, but the number reached that without him noticing from all the escapes. On another note, Douglas tells Leland about the crime he was imprisoned for. Amidst the talk, he mentions Ellen, who, despite her calm appearance, is considered the Joker among them. The team arrives at the place. Not sure if it's a shelter or an old prison. The whole place is ruins. Douglas finds a working device, meaning someone was definitely there. Amidst the chaos, while searching for evidence, someone attacks Leland. At the same time, Excel and Christ find an old man on a wheelchair, not sure if he's dead or alive. Suddenly, they hear a loud sound, then machine. Gunfire rains down on them. Excel was enjoying the sound, telling Christ he has a chain protecting him, meaning he won't die now. He goes out and fires at the people, the bastard, as if dancing to a rap song. Doesn't care about anything, confident he won't die. He works, tickling them one after another. From here, Christ realizes he's mentally unstable. She tells him they're here to play. The priority is to find Skinner. Indeed, Excel goes to take Skinner, but before he reaches out to lift him, he finds the police, surrounding him from everywhere. They tell everyone in the place to surrender. Even the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, tells everyone to withdraw. Excel, seeing the situation like this, tells them, all right, everyone drop your weapons, gentlemen, we're Lazarus. They all think he's an idiot. Lazarus? What's that? They don't even know he's wasting time. Christ turns on the light and they find that the man is just a fugitive indebted because of drugs, meaning the team came for nothing, it wasn't their job. But here's the shock. They find 100,000 people worldwide who look exactly like Dr. Skinner, alive. What does this mean, guys? Let's see what Skinner is seeking. Douglas feels something's off. Skinner is everywhere. 100,000 people on Earth look like him. This makes him discover something. Someone hacked the surveillance systems and replaced ordinary people's faces with Skinner's face so no one could find him. She tells them only 3 hackers worldwide could do that, and she's the 4th hacker who knows how to do something like that. The bright side is they confirm Skinner is alive, and the theory that he had plastic surgery to change his appearance and live among people like that vanishes completely. He wouldn't camouflage himself like that if he'd had surgery. Hirsch distributes tasks. Christ and Leland will go to Dr. Skinner's old house. Douglas and Excel will go to Club, a key person who helped Skinner in his scientific research. They enter a hospital full of patients. After people stopped taking Hebna, illnesses struck them as if taking revenge. Douglas doesn't find the doctor in the hospital, and all information about him is missing. Leland and Christ enter Skinner's house after playing a sneaky trick on security, saying they're cleaners. Christ tells Leland, "You're sneaky, man, not surprising you're an old thief." He tells her, "Don't insult me. Weren't you imprisoned in the Himalayas? We're all in the same boat, honey." Then she learns her crime. She was a spy, traveling the world as a secret agent, and got caught. Excel tells Douglas he has a suggestion and hopes it works so he likes him. They go to a place owned by a former prison mate who runs a shelter for the homeless. Christ and Leland search the house inch by inch, assuming the government hadn't combed through it before them. But strangely, Christ finds a suspicious capsule. She thought it was the treatment Skinner talked about but didn't care, and put it in her pocket. Excel wanders the whole area looking for Jerry's mill. He finds him disguised as a woman. They sit with him, telling him they're looking for someone named Claude Jerry. He tells them many people are there, each with a different story, meaning he doesn't want to betray any of them. Douglas clarifies they don't want to harm him. He tells him his story. When he was a researcher at the university, no one helped him except Dr. Claude Jerry. When he knows this, he reassures them and tells them his location. Douglas goes to meet him and asks for any information about Skinner. He tells him Skinner seems like a good, normal person, but when he immerses himself in his research, his vision becomes blinded. He works day and night without fatigue. He cut ties with him because he was jealous of him, and that led him to this state. Meaning not just jealousy. He became a homeless person, unable to find food. He gives a small piece of information. Skinner has a great-grandmother living in Istanbul whom he loved very much, meaning it's very possible he's with her now. Douglas returns to share the information, but they find no trace of the woman, as if she disappeared intentionally. Ellen finds a place in Istanbul with no security, which for them is a suitable place for Skinner to hide. They travel there, but people aren't comfortable with them. A group of young men gathers around Excel and Leland wanting to teach them a lesson. Excel says, "In this situation, we either run or fight to the death." And of course, we all know Excel's choice. He starts grinding through them, enjoying it as usual. He takes Leland to escape and does flips over the houses. Leland falls into a little girl's house who was looking for a handsome prince, and miraculously, Leland falls from the roof into her house. The gang gathers around him, thinking his bracelet is an expensive watch and wanting to rob him. Excel hears the sound of her voice, so he goes down and fights the gang members. They have Leland pinned down. They're about to cut off his hand. Suddenly, he tells them he came to eat baklava from Grandma Belinda. The men understand they're tourists. Even though it was a crazy, stupid idea about baklava, it saved him before he became one-handed. Indeed, the men take them to her. After hosting them, she asks them a few questions, who they are and why they came specifically for her. Excel totally fools her. He tells her, "I'll tell you what, you old hag. We're secret agents with a kill permit." Grandma laughs and tells them, "You must be here to ask about Skinner, right?" But unfortunately, she didn't know anything about him. She tells them his childhood was difficult, yet he grew up to be a kind, sensitive young man. It didn't matter to her what crime he committed. She missed him and longed to see him. Excel feels Skinner is sincere. Since he loves his grandmother, he must have installed cameras to monitor her and check on her from afar. He searches and finds a camera. He grabs it and says, "Get ready, I'll find you soon, buddy." On another front, Ellen had set a trap for the person responsible for copying Skinner's image. Excel's move made him fall into the net, and she found his location. The capable woman swears she'll gouge out his eye. Hacker 90, one of the most dangerous internet hackers ever. The FBI themselves can't find him. He said it's not just that he found his location, he even found his bank account. He found transfers to different doors, money beyond count deposited daily. He collaborated with Skinner to get information about Hebna, and traded it with someone named Sam, owner of the largest foundation that marketed the treatment. Excel stands up and tells them, "Stop talking too much. Long story short, we need to catch him." Christ tells him, "Talking is easier than doing. You're talking about someone the government itself doesn't even know his face. How?" Hirsch tells them, "Go catch Sam first. That will make the path to 909 easier." The group checks in as if they're businessmen with status in the city, because Sam holds a party every week gathering the heavy Russian players in the country and the city's most beautiful girls. That's why Christ dressed up specifically, and Leland, who has no use, disguised himself as a girl. The two teams are inside the party. Douglas was afraid of Excel's recklessness, so he warned him, "Forget the circus act you do wherever you go. We're in Sam's area, and if anything happens, he'll escape immediately." Douglas and Excel try to get to the second floor by any means, but security is tight. No one goes up without the seal. But Excel, of course, doesn't hesitate. He finds a drunk man, blind drunk, not seeing straight. He follows him behind the bathroom and takes his seal card. Douglas and Leland enter, and the woman dancing distracts attention until they get an invitation to the second floor. Christ sits next to Sam, watching the profits pouring in. He has his leg crossed, boasting about the billions he has from the scam platforms he oversees. Christ gets close to him, but Leland pulls her away, acting respectful. But unfortunately, he attracts the attention of the singer hosting the party. One guy watches him and tells him, "You're looking at me?" And at that moment, Ellen was reviewing the surveillance cameras and saw 90 transferring a large sum to an e-wallet. The cameras could capture his features, and we see here that it's the same singer hosting the party and wanting to hit on Leland, pretending to be the singer Vigor Ray. Sam leaves the girls to his men and chooses Christ himself. He thought she was easy prey, but who is she? A criminal record man. She lays into him as if avenging all the girls he harmed. Ellen sends them the information. Douglas and Excel engage. In a respectable clash with security, Leland escapes and Christ finishes the rest with Sam's men. But Sam and Vigor Ray got scared and tried to escape. The helicopter starts lifting off. Excel the Reckless sees it and runs, jumping a huge distance and grabbing the helicopter. Impossible, dude. Is he even human? Sam is scared of Excel and orders the helicopter to drop him. But even the AI hates evil. It gets angry at the control device and breaks it. The helicopter veers left and right, worsening the situation for Excel, who had no idea what he was doing. He jumps onto Leland's helicopter and grabs the machine gun to climb out and stand next to the helicopter. Sam orders the helicopter to hit him with a missile or something to knock him down, but it refuses. He keeps breaking the control device until the helicopter loses balance. Excel takes advantage and aims at the rotor. The helicopter crashes into the sea. Excel stands on it, watching them as they surface, trying to save themselves. They find Excel standing tall, holding the machine gun. "You're dead anyway, buddy." Excel tells him to tell him Skinner's location, and he might consider getting them out. But when he sees him stalling, he tells him, "You made billions off Hebna, hacked Delta Pharma, and stole all their data." Sam takes Vigor Ray's chain and throws it to Excel because it has all the information. Excel quickly sinks the helicopter and escapes. The government arrests them. From the flash drive, they learn they have no connection to Skinner, but Delta Pharma was the company dealing with him. Meaning they definitely knew the danger of Hebna to humanity, and with that, only 24 days remain before the end of the world Skinner warned about. At the team's HQ, Douglas says 909 knew the danger behind Hebna from the beginning because he hacked all of Delta's data, which knew the secret behind Hebna, and yet they hid the secret from the people. He finds a strange picture in 909's data. A big eye studded with stars. Also, an incomprehensible audio clip he was sending to people outside the city. Ellen searches behind the clips with fragmented audio and finds it's a code containing all the failed experiments of Hebna until it reached the form released in the market. But why did they wrap it up like that from the beginning? They encrypted the audio clips full of experiments. She expected they wanted to send it to a specific person without revealing themselves. Could that person be Skinner himself? They plan that they must meet these people face to face to find out which Skinner they're communicating with. They try to enter the building of the city's wealthiest, where the owners of Delta Pharma are. But of course, the security guarding the rich isn't like the security guarding you poor thing. Excel's heart freezes and he enters the building, passing through security as if he owns the place. Security gets worried when they find him inside. They follow him into the elevator. Excel is very happy because he can deal with them all at once in a confined space. The security guy raises a device to electrocute Excel. Excel waits until the door closes and shows them who the device is supposed to be used on. He deals with them even in the smallest spaces, vicious like him. He doesn't care about who's in front of him or even where he is. His only concern is playing with his prey. Defeating them wasn't easy, but he walks out of the elevator on his feet, leaving them all thrown inside. Excel then confronts the Delta Pharma CEO, showing him all his criminal records in the company and demanding he tell him Skinner's location. The CEO tells him no one wants to know his location more than him. He disappeared before giving them his address, so they're forced to send him information in that encrypted form. Excel is connected to the whole team, so Douglas tells him, "You knew Hebna was poison, didn't you?" He tells him, "Impossible. What's my benefit? Before we experimented on humans, we tested it on monkeys, and it was safe. Nothing happened. But a few days ago, one of them died." Before dying, his eyes turned into a vast space full of stars. The curse is coming to humans, and he's the first because he took Hebna too. Their company was doing everything possible to find a cure. Excel stands up and says, "Since we all want to find him, cooperate with us so we can bring him to us." After that, they share the plan with Hirsch, who tells her boss they'll hold a press conference bringing together all doctors to present a fake Hebna antidote. Curiosity will likely eat Skinner alive, and he'll come himself to see what happens, or send a special agent to steal the antidote. The whole team stands outside Delta Hall, monitoring the situation to see who Skinner sends to steal the antidote. He has to come because his plan for humanity's death mustn't fail. Ellen monitors all networks and all jamming devices to detect Anything inside the hall circle, from surveillance devices to every message. From her perspective, the higher the security, the more excited hackers get. Indeed, the press conference begins. The Delta Pharma CEO announces they've found an antidote to Hebna's poison. Ellen gets an alert that a hacker is in the area trying to hack security systems and succeeds in cutting power to the entire hall. That means there's a hacker outside and an accomplice inside. The team moves quickly but finds no one. One person from the hall takes the antidote and injects himself. The idiot thinks he saved himself. He doesn't know it's just saline solution. The hacker turns the hall into a house of terror, turning lights on and off, smashing robots into each other. We see here the hacker is a crazy girl named Popcorn Wizard. Ellen realizes the flaw is in the security team's transmission devices. Someone else besides her after she announced the press conference used them to hack the place. She was confident the hacker swallowed the bait she set to find his exact location. The capable woman lost a battle to win the war. Indeed, Hirsch sends security there, but the girl escapes after realizing the antidote is just a fake trick. And the capable woman found out Ellen's plan. That's why she threw her device away so they couldn't trace her. She calls Ellen, "Don't be upset, sweetie, you're smart but not smarter than me." Douglas shows them a tower called The Truth that Skinner visited a lot when he was young. The place now worships something called artificial intelligence because it's an entity that surpasses the human mind. It has no freedom of choice, no desires, no self-love. It can make decisions completely devoid of emotion. A whole village lives far away in isolation, self-sufficient. He thought it was the perfect place for Skinner to hide. No one would come. But Hirsch asks Ellen if she can hack their network or not. She tells them it's impossible. It's a system completely separate from the world. She knew some information about the village because she was born there. They call the AI Naga. She refuses Hirsch's plan to storm the place. She tells them she might be able to return to the village with one of them. Indeed, the team moves. They enter the mountain. They tell Ellen and Leland if they don't come out after 2 days, they'll enter to get them themselves. Ellen enters and finds the place has changed a bit. She meets her friend Huna there, who welcomes her and takes her to HQ where she finds her mother. She hugs her calmly. She tells her, "I was expecting you to return. I was sure you got fed up with the outside world and decided to come back to us." At that moment, the leader comes out to welcome her and Leland. Huna takes an order from the leader to take from them anything with internet, so they can't communicate with specific people outside their village. For them, the world outside the village is evil, polluted, full of lies. Leland goes out at night, trying to use the bracelet to communicate with Hirsch, but the AI in the place was jamming all external communication devices. Even the rest of the team was very worried about them and couldn't sleep. XL tries to burn off his excess energy. After getting stressed, running back and forth, he'll die if he doesn't hit someone. Leland tells Ellen how she met her mother without even saying the word mom, and how she welcomed her coldly too. She explains to him that here, the place is one big family. Blood ties bonding them are forbidden. The group doesn't want any distinction between them. They only think about serving the AI. Huna takes them on a tour, showing them how they don't need anything from the outside world. They have blacksmiths, clothes, food, water, everything available without using money. They treat the AI Naga as something sacred. Douglas learns information about the AI and shares it with Christ. 15 years ago, the most advanced AI was developed by researchers at the Institute of Technology to understand the human neural network. It was specifically designed and earned the title Smarter Than Einstein's Brain. Skinner was responsible for that project. After the project was completed, they conducted an experiment merging the AI's programming with the human desire for control and planning. That, ladies and gentlemen, was successful. An independent AI program capable of deciding and controlling everything around it. Since then, even the FBI itself has been trying to discover the secret behind it and monitoring the village from afar. Leland searches everywhere for Skinner, but finds no trace. He agrees with Ellen that during prayer time, they enter the Tower of Truth to look for any record in his name. But unfortunately, Huna hears them. One night, they enter the tower. Ellen plugs in an electronic flash drive to transfer all of Naga's memory, but unfortunately, the leader walks in on them. He tells them Naga predicted they would do this from the moment they entered. They surround them from everywhere. After, they're caught red-handed as criminals. Information reaches Douglas about Beller, leader of the Naga village, who escaped the institution to form the sect-worshipping AI. They suspected he was exploiting people's minds to feed Naga's desire for control and planning, which would benefit their research. But Excel had a completely different view. Since Naga is a copy of Skinner, he surely has the desire to destroy the world like him. Leland and Ellen are imprisoned in a cell. They don't know what will happen to them. Huna comes and tells them the leader will purify them from the sins of the outside world. In other words, he'll burn them alive, and the whole village will watch them being tortured. Ellen plays on her emotions. She tells her, I was always jealous of you. You had your own thoughts, and you left me and ran away, lived your life away from here. She tells her, can we run away together? And promises her if she helps, she'll take her and escape too. Leland tells her, if you have the courage for that, light the smoke bomb in my bag and save us, and we'll take you with us. On the day of the festival, they tie up Leland and Ellen and light a fire to burn them. The whole village was happy, including her mother. But Huna couldn't bear it. She takes the smoke bomb and lights it. Excel was waiting for that moment impatiently because that was their signal. They all run, get into the cars. Beller thinks the red smoke is Naga's wrath, so he takes the whole village and locks them in the tower. The ignorant fool expects their souls to be immortal and return to live again. He says they must sacrifice their lives so Naga doesn't destroy the world and sets the whole place on fire. Indeed, a large number of them die. The federal government arrives, extinguishes the fire, and takes the injured. Excel takes Naga's memory and gives it to Douglas. The team gathers at a barbecue party, celebrating their failure so far. They learn each other's ages. Excel is 24, Douglas is the same, Leland is 16, and Christ refuses to tell her real age. They put the meat on iron skewers like that. Excel has a device at the weapons factory. He adjusts it and uses it like a fire pistol. He burns the food. The scoundrel. They go down to learn the latest news. They find the Arctic ice cap is melting in broad daylight alone. Is that reasonable? Skinner's words are coming true. All media had no other news. They publish Skinner's meeting when he predicted this catastrophe. Everything in the world is happening, exactly as Skinner predicted. People felt something strange was happening and that he didn't make Hebna out of thin air. After labeling him a terrorist, they came back saying he's the god of the group. Dude, if a cockroach passed in front of them, they'd call it a god. The world is infidel and idiots, man. Excel tells them if his words are true and his predictions are real, only 15 days remain. Only 15 days until the death of the first person who took Hebna. Hirsch enters and tells them they found nothing in the Tower of Truth's memory. Nothing. Indicates Skinner was there. They're back to square one. They watch all of Skinner's videos predicting the end of the world. There will be 7 trumpets. Each will be followed by a catastrophe. And after the last trumpet, humanity ends. And I am the 7th trumpet, the last one. What is this thing saying, man? I don't understand anything about it. In these times, a message suddenly appears from Naga. They find a number in it and take it to decipher its code. They search for the coordinates of that number and find 4 locations, all in the middle of the ocean. Distant islands that disappeared, long ago. After a long search, they learned Skinner bought these 4 areas before they sank. This was among the information they found in Naga. Hirsch shares the information with her boss. He definitely bought the islands for a reason. They only have small clues and must follow them in the hope of finding a lead to his location. Douglas reaches a sunken island in the Philippines. Excel reaches an island in the Maldives. Leland is on an island in Japan. Christ is on an island in Fiji. Meanwhile, the hacker lady is monitoring the 4 islands, conditioning herself with everything, as if watching an action movie. The team communicates, but so far, things are calm. Nothing. Indicates the place holds a clue. Leland tells them, I know this isn't the time, guys, but will Lazarus end if we find Skinner? Douglas tells him the thought crossed all their minds. The only solution if they want to stay together is not to search for the mad doctor. Christ. Swims but finds nothing except houses underwater. She comes out, contemplating the sea after being mesmerized by the view in the depths. The clear sky she spent her whole life without seeing such a beautiful view. She tells the team any place, far from humans, has a different taste of sweetness. Ellen tells her maybe Skinner wanted us to see the hidden beauty of nature away from humans. Christ lets herself go with the water, thinking how beautiful nature is, but humans ruined it. The trumpets Skinner talked about are the ones living in its catastrophes every day. Who said Skinner was wrong? Indeed, humanity destroyed the world. On another note, Excel finds nothing and comes out of the water to find the boat owner waiting. He tells him he was a resident of the island that sank 10 years ago. Excel tells him, the flying fish blinded you? The man laughs. He tells him he doesn't feel any pain, nor does anyone who was on his island. The strange thing is they didn't know anything about Hebna. Then how, God willing, do you not feel pain and pretend you didn't take Hebna and don't know about it? So where did this feeling of numbness come from? He learns from him also that Skinner visited their island when he was young. They were able to live a life of luxury because of him. Excel makes him say all this information out loud so the whole team hears. We see here the boss takes Hirsch to an art exhibition. He apologizes to her for involving her in something that hurt her psychologically because he knew well the nature of her relationship with Skinner. She tells him, Don't worry. All I want to know now is why he left us behind his back and did this on his own. Ellen discovers Skinner bought the islands and donated a lot of money to their inhabitants so they could live better. Since they didn't feel pain, it means Skinner secretly gave them Hebna through the food supplied to the islands. They realize then that they were experiencing Skinner's old life while searching for him, as if he intended it, as if he wanted someone to find him, to see him differently from how people saw him. Ellen searches Skinner's data records, and here comes the shock. One of his main assistants was Hirsch herself, and Christ. Before Christ leaves the island, she meets a secret agent she worked with in the past. The agent takes Christ and ties her up. Apparently, it's an old revenge not forgotten. Leland returns to HQ and finds them all silent. What happened? There must be a new disaster. Hirsch tells him they found out new information. Douglas replies, telling her they found out she was one of the doctors helping Skinner. Yes, I knew. You'd find out soon. She explains she was his colleague and part of the Hebna research team, but before the treatment was completed, he disappeared without anyone knowing about him. The team completed the treatment after him, but she couldn't adapt and withdrew. Now she feels regret because Hebna will destroy humanity. So she worked with the National Security Agency to solve the Skinner mystery and his research by creating a special investigations unit, Lazarus. They hired her because she's one of the most important people who knows a lot about Skinner. An old colleague of Christ enters, hits her, and tells her traitors have no place among us. We discover then that Christ wasn't caught when she was working as a spy. On the contrary, she betrayed them and joined Hirsch willingly. Inga enters and tells her, "Glad you're still alive because I want to kill you with my own hands." The team learns Christ is in the Arctic, specifically in an old oil camp. Leland tells them it's part of the Russian spy network, meaning she was captured by Russian agents. Hirsch tells them, if we don't get her back in 3 days, the bracelet will stop blood flow and end her life completely. At that moment, Inga tells Christ, 3 years ago, they said you died in the plane crash, but no one found your body. That's why I was sure you were still alive. Hirsch tells them it's impossible to beat secret agents and save Christ, but the guys don't care. Want to kill us with the bracelets? Go ahead, but the Lazarus Special Investigations Unit prepares for Agent Christ's rescue. The team can't find any flights taking them to the nearest place there due to weather conditions. Hirsch calls them, telling them the European-American leadership agreed to send them a helicopter to the closest place to the base. Ellen finds a place for Ellen to use a special database. Christ's lowly colleague hits her every time he sees her face, but she doesn't object because she knows well he hates her. She provokes him more, telling him he's a coward hitting a woman, tied to a chair, and if he untied her, she'd show him what real hitting is. Indeed, the team arrives near them. The agent tells Christ, "You provoked me so I'd untie the rope, right? You think I'm stupid, girl?" He grabs her with the chair and throws her against the wall, breaking her bone. Leland puts a camera in a drone shaped like a bird and monitors the place. Excel swims until he reaches the base. Douglas makes a simple decoy, making the ship approach them at full speed so they all focus on it. Excel finds everyone distracted, so he quickly enters the control room, hacks the device with the bracelet. The agent is busy beating Christ. He tells her Inga will return her to the homeland. The ship crashes into the base and an explosion happens. The agent is distracted away from Christ for a bit. When he returns, he finds her standing up and gives him a blow that makes him forget his name completely. She hits him with the chair in his face and chokes him until he passes out. She cuts the rope and finally escapes. Ellen tells Excel her location, so he runs quickly to find her. But Inga discovers the ship was just a decoy and that intruders are in the place. Here comes Ellen's turn, who took control of the control room after Excel hacked it. Excel, every time he finds someone stands up, takes him out. And Doug from afar aims with the sniper rifle, killing anyone who hinders him. The agent sees Excel in front of him, a stranger hitting his men. He stands at a distance, and as soon as he approaches him, he hits him with an iron bar and engages him in combat. Leland sees someone controlling the drone, so he blows up the place he's in. He escapes. Excel escapes from the agent and finds Christ on his way, but she was badly injured. She tells him, "Why did you come? I don't deserve to be saved." He tells her, "I don't care about your past, I care about who you are now." Ellen blew up the whole place, so Excel tells her, "Stay here and I'll clear the way for us to escape." But unfortunately, Inga finds her and points the gun at her. She tells her, "For 3 years I wished to catch you to kill you." Christ tells her, "Killing me was my wish for a long time." She tells her after the plane crash, her heart stopped, and she was written on the list of victims. But then her pulse suddenly returned. From here, she got the idea to escape the organization after confirming she was listed as dead in the victims list. She said, "No, leave your friend like that? Weren't we agreed to escape together?" At that moment, the agent was listening to the story and when he learned Inga also wanted to betray them, he shoots at her. At that moment, Excel quickly intervenes, pushing him away before Christ dies. Inga tells Christ, "Get out quickly, the whole oil field is about to explode." But Excel leaves Christ to say goodbye to her friend. Indeed, my friend Inga dies in Christ's arms. She tells her she was happy because she was the last person she'd see since they were best friends. Christ was extremely sad for her. And Excel quickly takes her and they jump into the ocean. Douglas comes with the boat to rescue them. Excel uses a rocket that fell on them to launch out of the ocean towards Douglas. Finally, they succeed after a difficult, dramatic, dangerous mission where they all could have died. A major assassin named HB comes out walking among people dying because of his men. He was given a mission by his leader, whom he himself doesn't know. The mission is executed while he walks in complete calm, not caring about the people being thrown under him. A terrifying scene. At the same time, all the sadness emanating from HB, you feel his soul is dead, but he's alive and moving. Excel gets in the car talking to Douglas, who tells him, "Let's assume now we catch Skinner. Do you expect them to really free us as they said?" Excel tells him, "The same thing on my mind. We've come to know too many secrets about them." He tells him, "Buddy, as soon as we finish this mission, they'll get rid of us to ensure everything we know about them doesn't get out." During an interrogation session attended by Abel, Lazarus chief, and the National Security Agency, he goes to meet Colonel Hayes and Schneider from intelligence. But apparently they don't get along. He doesn't want to greet him and pretends he's busy. He talks to the president and says in the session that they must determine the fate of the Lazarus team. One of the chiefs talks, saying the team was formed basically to arrest Skinner, but they messed things up more. They fired guns in the city, caused a helicopter accident, and burned down the forest sect, not to mention the agent who burned the Russian oil field. Another says one of the team members was a Russian spy, meaning information could leak from their country to Russia. Besides, all the nonsense they do has nothing to do with arresting Skinner. Another, probably supporting them strongly, tells them he brought one of the Lazarus members himself to interrogate him in front of them. They bring Leland against his will. They ask him what the Arctic has to do with their primary mission. Leland tells them the truth. They went to rescue their teammate Christ. But for them, the step they took would have completely destroyed international relations. Christ then doesn't complete her full rest because she sees it's wasted time. If she rests a day or two, she'll wake up to the end of the world. She pulls her jacket from under the lazy cat glued to their HQ 24/7. Suddenly, the capsule she found in Skinner's house falls from the jacket. Leland tells them Christ is an essential part of the team, even if that didn't deserve an international case. She remains their friend and part of the team. Schneider tells him, "We heard one of you was in prison for ages." Leland tells him, "Yes, that's Excel, who tries to escape a lot." Schneider replies, "Oh, my joy with you," and looks at the judge. Then you feel he's very dominant. The judge, as soon as he sees him adjusting, tells Leland, "You may go, but the team must take responsibility for all the nonsense they did." A man suddenly enters, telling them Skinner released another video, and they must see it quickly. Skinner says, "In front of me is the whole world. No one came to visit me. Since my last statement 20 days ago, everyone is acting normally as if nothing will happen." He reminds them he said the first person who took the first capsule of Hebna would be the first to die. He clarifies to them that the first sample tested with the treatment was himself. That means if no one can find him within just 10 days, he'll be the first to die, and after him, all humanity. Our goal is complete. Abel stands up and tells them, "Skinner is right. We have a few steps left to catch him, and you're focused on dismantling Lazarus, who no one but them can handle this Egyptian mission. Who will you blame if the world ends?" Schneider goes out to tell Hayes that Excel is the one who escaped from Arizona prison, the one they've been looking for a long time. He must have had help deleting all his data and photos there. He must take legal action against him. He goes to meet HB to give him the mission, thus keeping himself distant from the crime. He asks him who Sorio is, his leader. They heard he's a ghost no one ever sees. HB tells him, "I'm the leader's agent. I don't know anything about him, not even his face. I haven't met him even once. But I guarantee you any mission he accepts is executed with high efficiency." Hayes tells him, "Then how do I guarantee someone no one knows?" He asks him for a test, and HB tells him, "You're with me, Prince, but don't regret what will happen." He goes to Sorio's place for the test. Colonel Hayes prepares a SWAT team as if going to an armed terrorist group. All the army members mock that they'll eat the roasted ghost after executing the mission. They enter the house, and Sorio is ready. For them, he thinks he's Spider-Man fighting with thin threads and hanging the first one. The second throws a knife at his neck. He throws the thread, ties one up, and makes him fire at his colleagues. He cuts another's neck. All this in seconds. Brutality, man. Endless kills. He stabs the neck and the legs. Doesn't care. The operation is complete. He finishes off the entire army team. All this before the minute the officer in charge ended. After Schneider sees everything with his own eyes, he sends HB a picture of Excel and tells him this is the target. 6 days before the end of the world, fatigue, fever, and diseases suddenly increase. Hospitals can no longer handle the number of sick people. The stock market crashes, stocks fall. Many public services malfunction. People expected death to knock on their door any second. Christ presented the capsule she found in Skinner's house to the group. They analyzed it and found it beneficial for people with artificial hearts. They suspected that was Skinner's condition during the 3 years. He disappeared. They search all hospitals where artificial heart transplants were performed but find his name nowhere. Hirsch, knowing him, tells them there's a hospital that protects its patients' privacy. That comes at a huge financial cost, and no one knows its location at all. Leland gets up, wears strange clothes, and takes Excel and Douglas with him. He takes them to a place no one knows but him. There, the gate recognizes his voice, so it opens by itself. They enter and find a large palace, like Batman's house. An old man comes out and welcomes him as the palace owner. Excel is surprised. Whose house is this? No offense. Leland is a thief, guys. They enter the house and find pictures of a noble family existing for centuries. The sister comes out to receive her brother, but in a very bad way. She tells him, "I was about to forget your name, man. You're an unwelcome guest here." The prodigal son returned. Leland, very calmly and fearfully, tells her he came to ask her for a favor. He wants to know the location of the institution treating the world's most important men. She tells him, "So you return after 4 years to ask me for such a favor with such audacity? And then I tell you why. About the location of our hospital?" She was very angry that he's the last male in the family. And why didn't their father leave inheritance to women? Leland tells her, "Easy, sister. Get married and inherit. You become head of the family." She gives him a few respectable pens because he doesn't appreciate what she went through. She asks him to play his role, become head of the family. If he refuses, he walks away and never comes back. Douglas tells Excel, "What brought us here? Let's go, man." As soon as they get up, they hear her footsteps, so in terror, they sit back down. Isabella returns, regretting how she treated him, the same way every time. She agrees to give him the information he asked for, but on one condition. He stays with her for a full day before the end of the world. Leland agrees and learns the location from her. He takes his colleagues to go there quickly. They meet a doctor who was her father's friend. They sit together and talk a lot about Hebna. Leland tells her they're looking for Skinner and asks if he really had an artificial heart transplant. The doctor keeps smoking cigarettes as if avenging the days that consumed her life, and in the end, she'll die for nothing. She tells him she was waiting for someone to ask her that question for a long time. At that moment, Abel was showing Hirsch security camera footage of Skinner at the airport during a clash between traffic police and national security long ago. Gunfire hit his bag, and a gas came out that killed people around him in a second. That was the test for the first model of Hebna. The topic was covered because it was planned for Hebna to be in small pills that would kill people after 3 years. The doctor shows the team details of the heart transplant surgery, and that they monitor the patient's condition through his pulse. So even if he was on another continent, they'd find him. But Skinner, before leaving the hospital, encrypted all his information so no one would know his escape location. She throws Leland a flash drive with a lot of information about Skinner that might help them. The team returns to HQ. Leland confesses to them he's a spy and that he knows Hirsch and everything they did. Excel tells him, "You idiot, we already knew. Everyone here has secrets they shouldn't reveal." After that, they plug the flash drive in for Ellen. She learns a lot from it, including that the heart is still working. Abel tells Hirsch that the first test on the outside world was in the prison where Excel was imprisoned. They were testing the treatment on those sentenced to death. And Excel was one of their test subjects. Hirsch calls Excel to give him a mission. Find the person monitoring Skinner. That was the same girl who hacked Delta's security system at the conference, Popcorn Wizard. After Min finds out her location is in Pakistan, she suggests to Douglas that she go herself. He agrees, but on one condition. He comes with her. Meanwhile, Hirsch tells Excel the truth. The Hebna experiment they did in the prison killed all his colleagues there. Excel was the only one who survived among them and the prison doctor. Excel goes looking for the prison doctor, but a dramatic plot twist happens. Sorio sets cars on fire to stop traffic and kill Excel. Excel reaches Douglas and Min in Pakistan, and monitors Popcorn Wizard's location. But Min starts showing symptoms of Hebna. She got infected like the rest. Hirsch tells Christ and Leland that after Douglas left, 2 cars from the intelligence division came out after them because they're afraid they'll learn secrets about them. She wants to communicate with them herself to stop them from hindering her and her team. She gives Min a message to give to Abel. Excel tries to understand what's disabling people and suddenly finds a man coming towards him, staring at him intensely, talking to himself with incomprehensible words. He jumps on cars and reaches Excel's car, firing at it, hoping to die without effort. Excel quickly moves the car and knocks him off. He gets out and runs away, saying, "Who is this coming to fight without a greeting?" Excel stands in front of him to understand how this battle will unfold, so he tells him, "Follow me," to get away from innocent people. But Soryo doesn't care about anyone, bombs in his hand ready to throw at any time and place. Cars explode. Accidents happen. People die. All that is normal for him. Excel jumps from the bridge onto the car, thinking the ghost won't jump after him, but he's surprised he jumped down. The battle begins on the car. From here, the story with the devil, Soryo begins. He goes to the team's base. Leland gives him the message she sent. He informs him she went to meet Schneider. The battle is still ongoing on the cars. Excel fights with bare hands, but Soryo has bombs and many tools helping him, but apparently he finds no use. He takes out his favorite weapon, spider threads, that he extends far. He ties his weapons together in his attack. He throws a bomb with the thread to blow up Excel. He doesn't know he's different and smarter than the other enemies he killed. Hirsch, who fears no one, meets Schneider. She tells him she has no time for talk or circles. She goes straight to the threat. If he doesn't recall his men from behind her team, she'll leak all the information she knows about them, including Arizona prison and the experiments on prisoners, and that no one survived their experiments except Excel. At that moment, we learn the reason for Schneider's insistence on killing Excel, so his experiments done in secret aren't exposed. Schneider tells her, "You surprised me. First time I hear this. Is it possible the national security believes your information and disbelieves me, the lowly one?" He decides to imprison her on treason charges, since she learned things she shouldn't have known about him. Meanwhile, he reads Hirsch's message and confirms Schneider imprisoned her because she's reckless. The secretary calls him and informs him there's a battle between two people in the middle of the city and the bridge is on fire because of them. She searches for information about Soryo but finds no record in the state. He's a ghost. But Abel knows him and is surprised the ghost finally revealed himself. He tells them he's a legendary assassin no one has seen, and every prey that sees him must die. Christ is very afraid for Excel. She takes out the forbidden weapon and tells Abel she'll use it. We see here Douglas agreed with Min to buy time and let her go to Popcorn Wizard. He surrenders himself in front of intelligence agents, and Min escapes from them. He's forced to fire at the car so no one goes after her. Excel escapes from Soryo because he now understands the difference in strength. Soryo tells him, "You don't care about dying, right?" He tells him, "This isn't the first time I've faced death. Death and I are friends. We see each other daily." He jumps into the sea and surfaces on a ship, but still finds him in his face. So he tells him, "I understand the picture now. This won't end. Nothing will end except when one of us dies." And he begins the first attack. But all his moves were too easy for the ghost. However, the recklessness he showed gave Excel the chance to hit him. By chance, he sees the chain he's wearing. Its symbol brings back terrifying memories of when he was forced to grow up like monsters. The training he underwent, the education he received, he was forced to grow up without feelings or heart, without logic or family. They were treated as monsters, their faces forbidden to be seen by people. Anyone who sees them must die. Yes, he realizes Excel is one of the children raised among them. Both throw weapons at each other, but Excel's hit was stronger. Soryo approaches him to find out what their end was because he forgot everything. But at that moment, Christ arrives quickly. In those moments, our friend Excel was between life and death. Christ takes Excel to the hospital. By his good luck, they save him. He lives. The doctor tells her she did everything she could. The rest is up to his grip on life. At that time, she finds Popcorn Wizard, but she collapses due to the fever. Popcorn Wizard treats her because she respected her effort in finding her. She remembers Douglas, so she quickly confirms he's alive from the bracelet. Douglas is asleep in a hospital belonging to American intelligence who imprisoned him. Abel tells the secretary to get all information about Soryo, because he might be the key to many secrets since he revealed himself suddenly. Excel finally wakes up from the same dream he always has. He tells Christ he always dreams of drowning in deep places. He doesn't know their source or has ever seen them, as if in a different world, but always an angel saves him. He tells her, "You must be that angel. Focus on your life first, then look for the angel." Christ herself didn't believe he was flirting with her while he was dying. Excel tells her, "I've seen death a lot, but this is the first time someone saved me and cared about my life." Abel goes to meet the president and checks on her condition first. She tells him she took Hebna, but no symptoms have appeared yet. She tells him, "Since you came yourself, you must have requests." Min sits with Popcorn Wizard. They talk to each other about everything they know. That was the first time we saw Min laugh. She asks her, "Why do you help Skinner when you know he wants to destroy the world?" She tells her she's from the Maldives Islands that Skinner helped. He knew the islands would sink, yet he bought them and cared for them. With the money he gave them, he helped them move to other places to live comfortably. He saved many lives. She just wanted to repay the favor, nothing more. Even if his plan ends the world, she has faith in him that he wouldn't do that, and there must be a clear reason behind what he does. Excel tells Christ about something strange. Soryo, before she intervened, was telling him, "I'll show you what the end of Hinden is." And by the way, that's the name of the animal Excel's chain is derived from. A strange animal born and died without a face. Christ was surprised who talks about such a trivial thing in the middle of a bloody battle. She asks him why he's reckless and rude like that all the time, not afraid that people who love him would be sad if he died. Excel tells her, "I have no one close to me, not even family. When he was young, he had friends in the same situation, cut off from the tree, but they all died. And he was the only one who survived. He kept this chain from his childhood without knowing what it is. From then on, he decided not to have any relationships again, fearing losing the people he loves. But now, things have changed with their presence." Abel tells the president he wants to search the intelligence office to rescue Hirsch and can't do that without her order. The president tells him, "Approved, maybe this is the last right thing I do in my life." She takes off her glasses, showing him her eyes turned into space like the monkey that died. Events escalate. Min and Popcorn Wizard finally find Skinner's location. Abel's secretary suspects HB is Soryo himself, so they ask for Christ at HQ because she's the only one who saw his face with Excel. Christ tells Excel she's forced to leave and this might be the last time she sees him because only one day remains before the end of the world. She bids him farewell in her way until God eases things and they see how things settle. At that time, Schneider enters a confrontation with Hayes and kills him. He tells security officers that he tried to kill him first. Christ returns to HQ. They show her a picture of HB and she tells them, "Yes, that's him. That's the one who tried to kill Excel." The secretary understands he has dissociative identity disorder, a disease that occurs when a person is under severe threat, so a new personality appears trying to detach from reality to save its owner. Christ tells her about Hinden that Excel talked about. The secretary is surprised. Is it possible Soryo is from Project Hinden? What a world! You betrayed your whole lives with experiments and projects on humans. At that time, American intelligence was trying to assassinate Douglas. The National Security Agency is conducting a raid. Abel tells Schneider a search warrant is happening immediately. Douglas had placed a decoy because he was very suspicious of them. Ellen and Popcorn Wizard save him after making a move with the hospital bed. Abel demands Schneider hand over Hirsch immediately. The situation escalates with him. Douglas asks the hackers with them about Skinner's location. They share the information with the group, and we learn he's in the city of Babylonia. The team is shocked after all this, and the capable dawn rises in the city next to us. But unfortunately, the area is too big for them to search for him in every house. Douglas asks Christ about Excel. Maybe he knows a sign specific to Skinner. She tells him Excel can't help us now. Douglas makes them break north immediately and goes to board the train to arrest Skinner. Popcorn Wizard bids farewell to her rival, Ellen. She tells her, "If you need anything, call me, and take care of the Skinner matter." Soryo sends a message to Excel telling him he'll meet him soon in the place where angels are present. Excel understands the code in seconds, but he tries on the doctor. He tells her he probably wants to meet me in heaven or something. Abel tells Schneider all his black deeds. "You and intelligence turned him into a biological weapon in secret, right? You took Skinner's research he was doing to cure pain and then turned it into a weapon that kills. When the poor man tried to escape to expose you to other countries, you attacked him at the airport, silenced him, threatened him that if he opened his mouth he'd be killed and no one would believe him. After that, you covered up the incident as a terrorist attack. But what you didn't know is that Skinner prepared for you in the smartest way in history." Abel goes to release Hirsch immediately on charges of covering up for a criminal and using prohibited biological weapons. Let's pause here a bit, guys. Listen, Skinner was trying to protect humanity all along and actually wanted to expose the secret of this biological weapon, the poison put in Hebna to kill people. Bear with me because that's what we'll understand in the barbecue coming. Next. They reach Min and Douglas in the homeless area where Skinner is. They share all the information with the group, but the place is big. It's impossible to find him on the last day. Hirsch gives them a piece of information. He loved plants. Quickly, Leland remembers the flowers filling his grandmother's house, and that was a clear sign to search for him with. A doctor enters to follow up on Excel but finds him disappeared quickly. She tells Christ the message said, "I'll meet you in the place where angels are present." Christ understands too and rushes to the place quickly. At that time, Excel goes to the Angel's Tower in Babylonia and finds Soryo there with heavy artillery. He tells him, "This is bigger than me, man. Couldn't you bring something smaller?" He provokes him that he wants to kill him. "We'll die anyway when Skinner comes out." With his final report, 909 learns information about Project Hinden, a secret project training children to be assassins under state security supervision. Children learn and grow up forgetting their humanity and feelings to turn them into assassination monsters one can reason with. Soryo exploits Excel's weakness and hits him with all violence. But every word he was trained on as a child doesn't leave his mind. He remembers their commands. Forget you have a heart. Think with your mind. Forget your feelings and emotions. You're not human. You have no value unless you kill and have blood on your hands. The voice controls him. His mental illnesses resurface. He loses control of himself. He wants Excel dead in any way because he's the only one who escaped Project Hinden. The secretary learns information about Project Hinden and that one of the test subjects killed all his colleagues and even his teachers and escaped. Soryo's memory returns. He remembers every word said to him before they erased his memory. Intelligence intervenes and fires at them because they had a pre-order to assassinate Excel and Soryo. Schneider wanted to get rid of them at any cost, but Excel distracts him with a move. Soryo quickly blows up the helicopter, and the dove's wings in the tower fall with them. Excel does the impossible to save Soryo, but he couldn't. After the wings landed, he searched for him and found him still alive. He sat next to him. The legend says that after the Hinden animal reveals its face, it dies. Soryo tells him, I can now dispense with everything, even my life, because I'm no longer a monster. I'm no longer hiding or concealing my face from people. My face has appeared to everyone. And he dies indeed. Christ arrives at the scene then, relieved about Excel. She tells him, we're going to Skinner. He's coming or it's our turn. Min tells Abel she was infected with Hebna fever, meaning she could have died, but it suddenly subsided on its own. Abel tells her they must know the truth and tells them what happened at the airport and that they were all present, not just Christ. Back then, when intelligence fired at Skinner, the sample he had for the biological weapon spread in the place. Consequently, everyone present at the airport died except Skinner, who was pulled out immediately, and 5 other young men, whose bodies developed resistance to the treatment. They all died and came back to life. That's the meaning of the name Lazarus, resurrection. Then the idea of hell came to Skinner's mind. He would make a drug that kills people and pump it into world markets. When he comes out threatening people, with it the whole world will focus on him. Then he'll be able to expose intelligence, and they won't be able to cover up something like that. The treatment is with him. He'll give it to people after revealing the truth. The team goes to the homeless area and helps them. Excel's friend, after they described Skinner to him, finds him sitting by the river, no longer able to see. He removes his glasses and his eyes have turned into space, meaning he will die soon. He gives them the antidote that will cure them from Hebna and apologizes to Hirsch for not taking her with him. His heart died when people died because of him at the airport. Hirsch approaches him to console him. Excel tells him, I want to know your true view of the world. Are humans good or do they really have to die? But Skinner doesn't answer and throws the question back at Excel. Skinner tells him, this world is chaotic and dirty, and humans are creatures, but I must accept the world and not despair of it. Seconds after his words, Skinner dies. Hirsch is very sad for him. Siren sounds fill the place. Douglas and Excel immediately point guns at Hirsch. They feel sorry for her, but they're afraid of being arrested now that they're no longer needed. Abel comes and tells them the president ordered their release. He removes the bracelets from their hands and gives them their freedom. He also erases their entire criminal record. He suggests the group doesn't disband. He asks them to be the official Lazarus unit for secret investigations. And of course, all the young men agree. Within hours, all factories cooperate and manufacture the Hebna antidote. They distribute it worldwide. They welcome pain and illness anew, for life without. Pain has no flavor of wellness. Life without sadness and misery finds no sweetness and happiness. And here ends the story of the owner of the smartest mind after Einstein. Here ends the story of the resurrection of Lazarus. Don't forget to hit me with a hard like and an even cooler subscription. And always remember, if we survive, until we meet again.